organisms share a nearly identical set of essential genes reflecting their supernatural creation from a common creator. And we can chew on that until next time. I'll also get the whale clip sorted. So thank you for listening. Feel free, if I can field any questions, I will. It's quite an intricate topic. Or just listen to your comments.
Have they actually got giraffes with shorter necks and stuff? Are there giraffes with shorter necks? Is that what they're based on? Have they found?
No, the young ones have quite short necks.
Okay, within their own lifespan.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much fully functional as they are. And the few species that there are across Africa are pretty much just colour variations. And some have physiological adaptations to be able to accommodate drier conditions and so on, but they're pretty much still a giraffe. They have a device in their upper neck called a rete mirabile, which is like a lump or conglomeration of veins and arteries, which I'll talk about next time. And it is not clear, I have not heard a proposal of how that could have evolved through intermediary stages and for the other animals to have survived along the way without it being fully formed and created from the beginning with its long neck and with the rete mirabile in place to withstand the pressure in the brain from the blood if it bends down.
You showed that with chimps, that despite the fact that they had come up with a whole lot of evolutionary stages for mammals, supposed evolutionary stages, they hadn't actually managed to come up with any for, was it chimps and apes, to match that time frame. Is it the same with things like giraffes? Is there any intermediary stages of giraffes with half-length necks?
I don't think they have. They probably have them in drawing. I don't know of any skeletons or fossils that would confirm that. If you look at the ones for humans, it's apart from Homo neanderthalensis, it's very
sketchy.
Yeah.
And the Neanderthal one, is it significantly different from people today, or?
Apparently it is. Bigger people, apparently stronger, better bone structure and so on. And I actually believe that it's possible that it could have been the pre-flood humans with their longer lifespans, about 600 years, that they've had more pronounced, more pronounced bone structures for sure, in terms of forehead, more pronounced brows, etc. Yeah, and because we've lost so much human information from our genome because of the judgment of God during the flood of Noah, and because of the flood of Noah, we don't really know how humans would have looked like had we had all that information still today. If we look around today with the information left, a remarkable diversity has been built just from there. But it's just again reshuffling of genes. We can still interbreed, and they're quite successful. Yes. Yeah.
Talk about genes, but is there any similarity to human DNA? Does that animals have their own distinctive DNA as well, or is there any similarities, or does that show up anything? Is there any relevance there at all as far as evolution goes?
Well, the evolutionists say, and actually geneticists have shown that, let's just get to that slide, that chimps have 98% of our DNA as humans. But that's in terms of similarities and so on. I don't know what they actually mean by that. I'm not a geneticist, unfortunately. But what I gather from that is that if that is so, the 2% is quite important, because I don't see chimpanzees driving around in cars, they cannot even invent a car. So that difference is quite big if there is 98% similarity. It probably refers to the base, the amino acid bases, which are only 4 bases. And that's pretty much what can be used in different combinations to make and build different creatures.
Have there been
Especially in
studies
primates.
comparing humans with other species apart from chimps, as far as DNA goes?
In terms of chromosome numbers, as having 46, I think. Was it 48? 46. I mean, that's sometimes a strange thing to do. There's a publication that I could try and get a hold of for you that even goes to plants and compare the similarity in DNA in terms of just chromosome number. And sometimes you'll find a particular plant have the same number of chromosomes than another animal, yet they're not even the same kingdom of creatures or life forms. So sometimes just because something is similar doesn't necessarily mean that they have a common ancestry.
So it may not be all that significant anyway.
Exactly. I think I saw a video from Genesis mentioning it. In terms of the 98-100%, that if you can, and he actually, what he said is kind of exactly what he said. So what? You also share 98% with an orange. You use something completely different than animal and human. So we also share, and he had a very high number, almost 90%. I think he mentioned orange or something.
Yeah.
Totally ridiculous. So the comparison, like you say, the relevance is not there.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a base,
Yeah.
all living creatures
Yeah.
have things in common,
Something's in common.
and that forms a big base, and then from there just a little diversity.
Yeah, it's like we could use the same 26-letter alphabet and have different languages, but they're not necessarily.
Yeah, I can distinctly remember you used something completely ridiculous, like something from fruit. They said, so what? It's nothing.
Yeah. John actually shared something with me in terms of his web design. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot.
No, it's all right.
But where they use the same kind of code. I don't know if it's templates.
Well, if you want to do something that you've done in a similar way before, you normally take the code that you used before and you save as and you change it a bit. So I kind of think that if God was designing something, why would he start completely from scratch with every single organism? Surely you'd start with something you'd already designed and then modify it for the next thing.
Yeah.
It just makes sense as how intelligent being kind of builds things.
Right.
Like you saw the bone structures there, they're comparing, from the bat to the human, to the dog, and
Yeah, I have something that's
just makes sense.
How relevant are those 4 chimps, monkeys, whatever you call them, they all look the same. They say they all come from the same gene pool. How close are they? Like, if they're saying that we came from a monkey or a chimp, how close are the chimps related to each other, DNA-wise?
probably pretty close, but I don't know the percentage.
Right.
So could they
That'd be
cross?
interesting
Like,
to
could
know.
they breed? They couldn't interbreed.
I'm not
could
sure.
they?
I don't. They don't occur. I think the bonobo only occurs in the Congo, and they're very much isolated. So I don't know if there was captive. I think they're so endangered that there's probably not been trials to see if they can interbreed, but they might be able to.
On interbreeding, I don't know, it might be common knowledge, but you probably all know that a horse and a donkey can interbreed,
Right.
but the progeny, the mule, can't breed. And the same occurs, I think, of all the antelope species that there are in Africa, there are only 2 that have been known to interbreed, and we actually saw it on a farm near us, is the hartebeest and the blesbok. And that also breeds a mule that cannot itself breed.
Yeah, I've known a coolant, for instance, that had fertile offspring, which was very rare because usually it's sterile. And I thought to talk about hybridization because that is quite important. Where are these boundaries that the Bible referred to in terms of different kind of animals giving rise to only their own kind. So it seems that there are boundaries that God put in place for certain animals to interbreed with each other, and therein there is speciation and microevolution, if you want to use that word, or variety, and that's just part of God's way for these animals to be able to accommodate changes in the environment, also just out of beauty to have different mutations occur in terms of phenotype. If I can just have a look and find what I think Stephen was referring to. Wait a second. Creation. Yeah, I've got an eland male. I was thinking of using that for hybridization. Let's get that Anton knows about that. There's a kudu bull. These two can interbreed, but they cannot have fertile offspring. There's a liger, for instance, that was quite interesting. It's a cross of a lion with a tiger, I think with a tigress. So a male lion and a female tiger. And then you also get something like, I think it's called Tyon, which is the opposite, male tiger with a female, or with a lioness.
Would they have mated them physically, or would that have been people just mucking around with artificial insemination?
Apparently, well, that's the debate. I mean, some of these zoos in Asia do this, out of attracting tourists. So this animal is much larger than a tiger. Obviously, a tiger is larger than a lion. I'm not sure why that is. It is quite amazing. It almost reminds one of the saber-toothed tiger. They used to live not so long ago. I believe possibly in the time of Noah it lived. So otherwise how would it have existed? But yeah, it might have existed just before the flood.
Are they also infertile?
I don't think so. They're not very successful breeders, though. I'm not sure why. It has to do something with their size. And they reckon that this kind of animal could have occurred in the wild when the Asian population of tigers had a larger range across to Europe, where lions were present before the explosion of humans into those territories. So this is something that could have occurred naturally, although some say if you look at the mating behaviour, it's quite forceful in terms of keeping them together and the female being on heat, within heat, etc.